Well, hi diddly do. Welcome back to the conspiracy. I am Jeremy. This episode, like the past few other ones I've made, is going to be a good one. So I hope you're prepared to learn and accept the fact that you've been fucking lied to, along with me. I'm going to wait for a while, though. My mission is to help wake others up. Bill Cooper was the man, dude. He had a mission, and I feel like I have the same mission. Different era, you know. I wish I had a radio show, but this is pretty much the next best thing. It is so important that you stop watching videos like this with a closed mind because you're only hurting yourself. You got to have an open mind, and it's okay to admit that you've been duped, lied to, hoodwinked. It's okay. Those of us who are awake, we've been through it too, man. We got to move forward from this. Oh, and I have more predictions as well. And like I said, they're only predictions. None of it is fact until if it happens. And I obviously hope none of it happens. But just in case if any of this shit does go down, well, at least I tried to warn you. That's why I do these predictions. And I will never give you my sources. So think what you will, but be aware. Are you tired yet, though? Each day keeps going by, time's flying. Are we tired yet, guys? Of all the evil and unfairness that is purposely being thrown upon us every hour of every day, all the unnecessary death, all the genocide, all the missing kids, all the secrets. That's what I'm fucking tired of. A world of secrets is a very dangerous world. There's no need for secrets. Well, look at what it's done. Look at what it has done. Don't tell. If you tell, we're going to kill you. Or everybody you love, you know? And if you stay quiet, we'll give you all the money and power you require. A world like that, this is what you get, you know? Secrets suck. So don't these loser ass pedophiles who are temporarily running things. Their reign is coming to an end. And like I said, I'm fighting for the world, dude. Not just my country, but the world. And these fucking losers, man, they know it. They know their time's coming. They can only hide for so long. Go ahead, go down your bunker. It's all right. It's okay. We'll get you. We're going to get you one way or another. Fucking sick and tired of, man. But anyway, shall we move on to some predictions? Oakley dokley. Here we go. Prediction number one, April 5th this year. False flag. Location, a public transit station in a major European capital, likely London or Paris. Event, a bomb blast during rush hour, with coordinated actors playing victims and terrorists. You gotta have your actors, man, otherwise you can't sell this shit. I wanna know what they were promised. I don't know, probably a giant cack in the ass. Purpose, to fast track emergency legislation expanding surveillance powers and restricting protests. Cover story, blamed on a new radical extremist. Well, we know now, don't we? What to look out for. All right, next, April 15th. And I do want to say this since I've been doing these predictions and anything that is outside the US, YouTube isn't allowing my videos to go to certain countries. So, you guys hear this and know people in Europe, whatever the hell, just give them a heads up. Don't say it's going to actually happen because this is a prediction. But, throw it their way. Just tell them. All right, April 15th, natural disaster. Location, southeast coast of the United States, Florida or Louisiana. Event, a powerful storm surge and flooding blamed on climate change, which is not a thing. Sorry, not a thing. Something these fucking headers is cooked up. Key detail. The weather patterns were artificially amplified using geoengineering technology, HARP-like systems, which are real. Sorry, guys. Well, I'm not sorry. Wake the fuck up. Purpose, to justify massive new infrastructure spending and disaster preparedness. Ooh, wow. That's great. So let's kill a bunch of fucking people so we can spend more money. I mean, that's how it's always been, right? And the third one is April 25th, false flag. Location, large university campus in the United States. Speculation, University of Michigan or Ohio State. Wouldn't be the first time for good old Ohio, would it? Event, active shooter. Situation during a large campus event, which multiple terrorists and high casualties. Details, the shooters will be government employees. And this, look at the Capitol, guys. Bunch of fucking dumbass undercover people parading around like regular fucking civilians or uh, with they'll active government employees with fake records dead. Right. Continued. The event will be live streamed, showing heavily edited footage of shootings while the actual campus remains locked down and controlled. Okay, think of Charlie Kirk, guys. Crisis actors will play victims and grieving family members. Purpose, and this is it, to push for immediate red flag gun confiscation laws and registration of all firearms. All right, common elements across all events. Each false flag will involve significant media manipulation and social media amplification, using bots and paid influencers to spread fear and misinformation. The goal is to create a sense of national or global crisis, justifying radical changes in policy and law. Don't say I didn't warn you. Just pay attention to what's going on. That's all you got to do. If any of these happen to go down, well, you know what to expect. All right, with all that said, let's move on to the video. Grab your notepads, recorders, thinking caps, all that shit, and buckle up because this is going to be a good one.
Psychology. If you got punished for failing as a kid instead of rewarded for trying, you developed a permanent brain condition that shuts you down every time you face a challenge, before you even start. But what was learned once can be unlearned again. This is day one of understanding psychology. Psychologists call it learned helplessness. Your brain experienced enough situations where effort didn't produce results that it concluded effort is a waste. This usually happens in childhood. You worked hard in school but grades didn't match the effort. Or you practiced something but stayed behind while others progressed. Your brain recorded all of it. After enough data points, it formed a conclusion. Effort, when things are difficult, doesn't work. So it developed a protection mechanism. When difficulty appears, shut down motivation to avoid the pain of trying hard and failing anyway. Fast forward to now. You set goals. You start excited. You make initial progress. Then you hit real resistance. That's when your brain activates the shutdown. Your motivation disappears. You find logical reasons to stop, and you quit again. The way out is giving your brain new data points, but any effort would trigger the same reaction. That's why the effort needs to be so minimal that it slips by unnoticed. Commit to doing 5 push-ups every morning, and after a month, compare how you felt on the first day and on the last one, then slightly increase the effort. Do this over and over again, and your brain will conclude effort leads to positive outcomes, erasing the learned helplessness. According
to the facilities examined at Auschwitz, Birkenau, or Lublin could have supported, or in fact did ever support, multiple executions utilizing hydrogen cyanide, carbon monoxide, or any other allegedly or factually lethal gas. Based upon very generous maximum usage rates for all the alleged gas chambers, totaling some 1,693 persons per week, and assuming these facilities could support gas execution, it would have required 68 years to execute the alleged number of 6 million persons. Promoting these facilities as being capable of effecting mass, multiple, or even singular executions is both ludicrous and insulting to every individual on this planet.
But additionally, it would be necessary to remove samples, return them to the United States for testing at an independent laboratory to in fact confirm what my visual inspection indicated, that these facilities never in fact contained hydrogen cyanide gas. The requirements necessary in the design of a facility that contains a highly explosive and highly poisonous gas. You must have gasketed doors, no windows, means of getting the gas in, means of getting the gas out, something for heating the gas and the air to constantly keep the right temperature, explosion-proof switches, lighting facilities, etc. None of these ever existed. We're talking about brick and mortar buildings without heat, with non-explosion proof lighting, without gasketed doors, in some cases without doors at all, and with crematories that opened very close or adjacent to the facility. If these facilities were used for gas execution facilities, if those persons operating the facilities didn't gas themselves to death at the same time that the executees died, they certainly would have been blown to bits when the gas exploded from a spark arc in a switch, the heat of a light bulb, or the gas approaching and getting into the crematory furnace. I mean, it's just ludicrous to consider that these facilities could have been used as gas chambers.
Can you give me an example of a food that's a vaccine?
University of California, Riverside has already perfected the ability to put human vaccines into our lettuce right now. Also, tomatoes has the ability to do that also for UC Berkeley. And then Big Tobacco, RJ Reynolds and stuff has perfected the ability to put a human vaccine into tobacco products.
And is that even legal to do in the state of Tennessee?
Well, I'm not arguing that point. What I'm saying is there is no law deeming those that when you go into a grocery store, you should know as a consumer, this head of lettuce is a head of lettuce. The head of lettuce right next to it could contain a vaccine in it.
Vagina is a portal into this physical world. She is magnetic, she attracts. Man is electric, he is action. She represents the moon, the subconscious, emotional and indirect. He represents the sun, the conscious mind, direct and logical. Females speak subconsciously. If she is hungry, she will say, "Are you hungry?" Males speak directly. If they are hungry, they will say, "We're getting food." Direction and indirection. Lines and curves. The binary code of reality, 0 and 1. Physical world is governed by electromagnetism. Everything is either electric, direct, or magnetic, indirect. Everything in the universe is connected and has either electrical or magnetic qualities. Everything follows the code of the atom. Want your relationship to thrive? Just study the subconscious and the conscious mind and their relationship with each other. You will then understand how the opposite sex in your relationship functions.
But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human. I am human, still.
Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
I was in bed with a woman, right? I'm lying on the pillow, and I'm looking at her face, right? Her face turned into what I could only describe as a reptilian.
How is it?
My face went, oh my God. She looks at me and she says, I'm not a reptilian. Boom!
I went with this one guy and he just he looked like a lizard. I was so scared. He was sitting beside me, I was like, oh my God. I was like, holy shit, he looks just like a lizard, and I had to go.
Honestly, I hadn't really thought of the complexities of disclosure. And I was like, yeah, cool, and he's talking about that. And then he goes, yeah, and they're walking among us. And I said, what? And he goes, what do you mean? He goes, I mean exactly that. They're walking among us.
Really concerned about this ball game, and as a coach, you're always worried about playing a team that was embarrassed. Really concerned about this ball game, and as a coach,
Toby's always scouting girls anywhere he goes.
What the
fuck? I should have watched the 20v1 video. I know. I watched the 20v1 video.
I make the shit that you believe. Thank you for trusting me. When your mind is blind and your eyes won't see. Feels good to go in the pool. Fake DISS for you. Green screen is what we all embrace. But we don't like to talk about bubbles in space. Bubbles in space? I told you, homeboy. Just fake it.
You don't remember the question from Tampa? You guys are in an underwater pool.
Just fake it. Look in my eyes, man. Just fake it.
We know. Just remember. Bubbles in space.
Break it down. Hammer time. Zero G is what we bring. All you see are puppets on the string. To Mars, CGI. But we also used to take satellites. For real. They're on a big balloon. And we also take...
One misconception about you.
There are no misconceptions about me. He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television. Some things, everything ain't for everybody.
If you win, you get a night out with Diddy. Saturday night in New York. And I promise you, your ass will wake up Wednesday laying beside me.
Savage! I'm a savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get!
If you don't have what they need, they're gonna leave.
Right.
Gotta keep them there.
Right.
You need locks on the doors.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy. But for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So, and we gonna go full.
This whole time to guess your age.
Yeah, they pushed this new age verification system in early 2026, forcing everyone into a teen-appropriate experience unless you verify with your ID.
But didn't they just have a massive data breach?
Exactly. So they made a post saying they switched to a new vendor called Persona and that your ID gets deleted immediately after verification.
That's supposed to be reassuring?
Here's the kicker. Users dug into Persona and found out it's literally a company known for collecting and storing user data long-term. So Discord just traded one security risk for another vendor that's built for data harvesting. Plus, they admitted most adults won't even need to verify manually because Discord's AI age estimator has been monitoring your messages and work hours this whole time.
Wait, they've been spying on us already?
Yep, their AI reads your conversations, tracks when you're active, analyzes patterns to estimate your age without you ever knowing.
So their clarification basically just confessed to mass surveillance?
Pretty much. They tried to calm people down about privacy and accidentally revealed they've been building AI profiles on millions of users for months without consent.
Dearly. He's one of my most favorite people. For about 3 weeks. And he's been terrific.
She's the greatest. We're gonna get married, by the way.
Don't
let her husband find out.
I can't wait. He really is truly terrific, and I big man. He is, and I really love him because he keeps
Wait, we
me
gotta
happy.
get David in here.
Yes,
Oh,
and
this
David.
is her little brother, so called.
He is my little brother.
And the true
There are two types of skills you can learn. The mistake most people make is focusing only on domain-specific skills, like just playing chess, instead of the meta skills behind it. which would 10 times their level and enable a whole new level of strategic thinking and pattern recognition in nearly every other domain they want to master. This is day 1 of leveling up your brain. Your brain can store knowledge in 2 completely different ways: procedural memory for specific techniques that only work in one context, and conceptual frameworks for underlying principles that map onto unlimited situations. When you learn something without extracting principles, you're building procedural memory that's locked to that exact domain. When you deliberately extract the deeper pattern, you're building conceptual frameworks that can activate across any domain that shares the same underlying structure. A chess grandmaster doesn't remember individual positions. They recognize patterns that appear across thousands of games, conceptual frameworks that transfer to every game. And a polymath can enter new fields and reach competence 10 times faster because they're not starting from zero, they're applying accumulated patterns. And that's why you should always focus on the meta level, not only when you want to get good at many things, but also when you want to become exceptional at one thing.
Frankly, we never really heard much about the persecution of the Jews. We knew that there were executions happening in Russia, but in Germany proper, I do not remember a single time that I heard any of these stories ever, or later on in South America for that matter. I have to struggle to find memories of even the slightest anti-Semitism. And it was one of my happiest times there because they were so kind to us and so good to us and played with us and gave us toys and, you know, fussed over us. And never ever in all those times was any one of these young soldiers improper with us. Never. It's of the war that is my happiest time.
How about the cattle cars?
Well, the cattle cars was pretty much the same story because we considered ourselves lucky if we could ride in a cattle car, of course, because then we did not depend on horses, we did not have to walk on foot. Man, that was luxury to ride a cattle car. And yes, they were crammed full of people, and yes, it was very difficult, you know, to travel like that. Often you could not sit, you had to stand because they were crammed full. Often there was not water, there was no food. This is how it was in those years. People were hanging on those cattle cars. When you see those pictures, that could have been us. We were like that in those years. That means nothing. The same when you see the bunk beds. My goodness, we were lucky if we had bunk beds where we could sleep at night. It meant we did not have to sleep outside in the snow.
Created ISIS. I mean, ISIS is no less than the people up in Islamberg, no less than Gulen, is a CIA creation. John McCain, for heaven's sake, was over there with the ISIS officials. It's our creation. We create them. We still direct them. When ISIS warriors are injured in battle, where are they transported? They're transported, for heaven's sake, to Israel. They're treated by the Israelis in Israeli hospitals and brought back to battle.
Well, plenty of the rebels have acknowledged that they've been supported by Israel, and they've thanked Israel for helping them draw. In fact, arms are oftentimes caught. Israeli arms are caught on en route to the rebel groups.
Patients have you been able to cure so far?
I would say 1.
I have cured none of my patients.
How many people have I cured? Well, there are no real cures right now.
Когда идешь мимо магазина мяса, и видишь вот такую ногу, и думаешь, this is human, yes, bro? Human. Pakistan, Pakistanistan. Понятно.
The Bible's not meant to be taken literally. Serpent in the tree in the Garden of Eden is the Ida and the Pingala nerves going up your spine. The Pingala connected to the pineal, which is the sun. The Ida connected to the pituitary, which is the moon. Electric and magnetic. Your brain is the upper room where Jesus meets the disciples. 12 disciples, 12 cranial nerves in the brain. The Ark of the Covenant is the 2 angels covering. This is actually the 2 hemispheres of the brain protecting the thalamus, the pituitary and the pineal gland. This is the male, this is the female spiritual glands which connect you to the astral plane. Moses crosses the Red Sea. This is the corpus callosum which connect the 2 hemispheres of the brain. He crosses the Red Sea, he's moving from the left side of the brain, which is logical 5 senses, materialism. Over to the right side of the brain, which is intuition, imagination, creativity, awareness, going from the male to the female side of the brain, where 90% of unity consciousness is held connected to the cerebrum. And this is why they depict God in the brain, because your head is heaven. For more occult information, the link is in the bio.
There will be another pandemic.
Just need the fear of a pandemic for people to take the vaccine.
We have fabricated a worldwide flu scare.
What if it's not the disease is selective? What if it's the cure?
It sterilizes people.
Now, the world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. We could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
I see a world where in about 25 years, America's reserves are gone. Done. Demand is up 30, 40%. And we have 2 oceans blocking us from the world reserves. You think we're going to have allies then? We're at 5% of the world's population. We use 25% of its energy. You think Russia and China are going to help us out when they need those resources themselves? 80% of the world's future energy reserves are right here in Eurasia, where the prize ultimately lies. Oil, gas, water. Iraq alone, 10% of the world's reserves. 60 of 80 oil fields are still undeveloped.
And probably another 100 billion gallons in their western desert. They're floating in a sea of oil.
We have bases in more than 120 countries all over the world. We include Iraq. Look what happens. We are at the fertile choke point of civilization. The Tigris Euphrates, the biblical cradle. We drain the swamp, like Don says. We rebuild it. We develop its resources to the maximum.
They own it, we run it. Pipelines, sea lanes, their resources finance the reconstruction.
Nexus of power that won't be broken in our lifetime, if we stick to the plan.
So what is our real exit strategy on Iraq, Dick?
There is no exit. We stay.
Spoken like a true oilman.
You were part of the plan, Colin, back in the 90s. You backed our dominance in weaponry, space, cyber, electronic. You agreed that we would never allow another military economic rival to emerge against us again. So I don't understand why
Turning
not.
these weapons loose on terrorists like trying to hit an ant in the ass with an elephant gun. We invoke preemption, preventive war, you call it, the right to use nukes whenever we see fit. And I guarantee you, Paul, we will be in a forever war everywhere, 3, 4 wars at a time. That's not New World Order. It's a world gone mad. There's got to be some global cooperation here.
Well, no one's against cooperation, Colin, you know that. As long as we're calling the shots.
Which gets us back to reality. Lest we forget, where do you see a lack of American presence? Right in the heart of it all. What's missing? Iran. The mother lode, 3rd largest oil reserve in the world. 40% of the world's oil goes right through here, the Strait of Hormuz. Control Iran, control Eurasia, control the world. Empire. Real empire. Nobody will fuck with us again.
Big, Vas. You know, big thoughts. But you go out here and you scare people when you talk like that. Working Joe's not thinking about oil.
Johnson, the Speaker of the House, just passed a bill. The House of Representatives just passed a bill that gives the soldiers of the IDF, that's the Israeli Defense Force, you now have Israeli Defense Force foreign military receiving United States military benefits.
This is true.
Wow, what he just said, what Joey just said, people here can't even afford health insurance, and now they're giving it to a foreign country, which in my opinion is a fucking enemy. They're the most disgusting, evil country on earth that has attacked the United States multiple times. And you're gonna give them benefits? And you're telling me these deserve to live? These politicians deserve to be alive? Get the fuck out of here. They're all fucking traitors and they deserve to all be fucking hung.
I think anyone who supports the American war effort in Vietnam is having the wool pulled over his eyes.
I see.
Just like they did with Korea.
The hell do you know about Korea? I was in Korea. I lost a lot of good friends there.
Daddy, that doesn't have anything to do with what we're saying.
And they weren't brainwashed. They were brave men who weren't afraid to fight for what they believed in. Now, if you're afraid to fight, why don't you just say so? Why don't you just admit that you're chicken?
You're damn right. I am chicken. I don't want to die like your friends. What do you think that you achieved over there? Do you think that those people are free? They're not free, man. Except to buy Coca-Cola and Nestle's Quick, get loans from Chase Manhattan Bank.
That's crap.
You were used, man, and your friends were used.
That's crap!
Daddy, you never listen to what we say. Some of what we say is true.
Don't accept all this death and then justify it. It is wrong. Your friends should be alive. They should be enjoying dinner and arguing with their kids just like you are.
What do you know about it? Who the hell are you to say that?
You see this, man? This is my draft notice. In 2 weeks, I can go to jail. I can go to Canada. Or I can go get shot full of holes like your friend Brian Cooper. You keep thinking the way you do, Mr. Arnold. And these two will be next. And I just hope that's what they want. Excuse me.
And so, after all, Karen left with Louis. And Dad and Mom and I were left with our thoughts.
Can I have potatoes?
And Wayne was left with himself.
Literally dropped files proving Biden died in 2019.
Yeah, so the theory claims Biden was shot in September 2019, and they've been using body doubles and deepfake masks since then.
Wait, what evidence convinced people?
Conspiracy theorists point to height differences, like Biden appearing 5'9" instead of 6 feet tall, different eye colors, and changing earlobes.
That's genuinely insane.
Here's the wild part. Believers say the real Biden had attached earlobes, but clone Biden has detached ones. They analyzed over 200 photos from 2019 to 2024, claiming at least 3 different body doubles based on facial structure. The height thing. Supposedly the mask tech adds bulk, making doubles appear shorter.
So why didn't this cause actual panic?
Because everyone immediately memed it. Within 72 hours, there were 4 million TikToks joking about clone Biden instead of investigating seriously.
We literally weaponized comedy against revolution.
That's the system working perfectly. Turn every conspiracy into a joke before people can organize around it. We're too busy laughing to ask questions.
I take this money. I got bills. I pay my car note. I give it right back to you. Then I gotta pay my rent. I give it right back to you. Don't that mean I'm working for free? I'm sorry. I just want to understand it, bro. I just want to understand this shit real quick, B. I want to understand it, Reflection. Reflection, I want to understand this real quick. I own a business. I own my own salon. The building is owned by some realtor. I call him up, I paid the realtor. Who gave the realtor the money to get the complex that I'm gonna own my business in? The bank. Right? But I got my own business. So I'm coming in here, but I pay my rent to the realtor. Who pays that? To the bank. Right? So wait a minute. I'm getting this money now, but it's still going to the fucking bank. And then now, cause I own my own business, I'm the man, I got bigger bills. Guess what? Pay my employees or whatever, collect my stuff, and now I gotta pay my car note, cause now I gotta fly, I gotta pay my car note, that goes to the bank. Pay my apartment, my house, my mortgage, that goes to the bank. It's a rat wheel. You working for free. The people that print the money don't need money, homie. They need control, power. They need you to be doing what they need you to be doing when they need you to be doing it. They need your energy.
Morals aren't principles you chose. They're evolutionary buttons installed in your brain millions of years ago. And the reason politics feels like a war is because you're literally speaking different moral languages, and neither side can hear the other. This is day one of exposing human nature. Humans have 6 moral foundations hardwired into our brains: care or harm, fairness or cheating, loyalty or betrayal, authority or subversion, sanctity or degradation, and liberty or oppression. Everyone has all 6, but liberals and conservatives weight them completely differently. Liberals care almost exclusively about care and fairness. They build their entire moral worldview around preventing harm and ensuring equality. Conservatives care about all 6 foundations relatively equally, which means they're also weighing loyalty, authority, and sanctity when making moral judgments. Stop arguing politics like facts matter and start recognizing which moral foundation the other person is operating from. Once you identify their foundation, you can speak to it directly instead of throwing facts at a moral system that doesn't care about your data because it's optimizing for a completely different value.
All put into what looked like a great big bathroom, I guess, because they had these shower things at the top, and we were put onto benches. We were all stark naked, old and young. Of course, the sexes were separated, but we all had to sit in a row. And what happened eventually is that they rained from the shower heads. They rained soap and water on us, and the reason for that was that we had to be deloused. We were so full of lice through that. Our hair was cut, and they rained soap and water on us. And I do not remember if there were any towels. So when I hear about the shower heads and the Holocaust and all of that, I know exactly what it was. That was soap and water raining down on us to delouse us. That's what it was. And where the story came from, that those were dangerous shower heads, I don't know. That must have come out of the Russian propaganda.
So it's like Steven Spielberg, that everybody in Schindler's List is waiting for the gas to come in, and
all it
lo and behold, all it was
soap and water came raining down on us in this great big, we called it banya, which is a Russian word for a washroom. Bathroom, yeah, but it was a big one, a communal bathroom. It was huge, I would say. It was, the way I remember it, of course I was little, but the way I remember it, I would say it was at least 30 by 30. It must have been built for that purpose, to wash us down like dogs. The same for the cutting of hair. I mean, we were all shorn bald in order to stop the louse problem that we had. Everybody had lice in the war, you know. I mean, this was just common knowledge that everybody had lice, and then of course we had to be deloused and put into Germany.
So Jews cannot claim unique victim status?
No, they cannot. And when I hear the stories about them losing their hair, big deal. None of us had hair.
Oh my God.
The Bible says we have to bless Israel or God won't bless us. Who's heard something similar? Oh yeah, gotta bless Israel or God won't bless you. Now here's the thing. The modern day nation of Israel is not a lucky rabbit's foot. As long as you rub it, God will be good to you. It doesn't work that way. But not only that, the Bible simply does not say that at all. The Bible does not say anywhere in the Bible to bless Israel, yet especially the modern day nation of Israel. And I'm going to prove to you that that statement is a lie, and there are many pastors of guys that I want to name, but I won't. Guys that if I named many of you across the room would say, oh, I know that guy, yeah, I know that guy. And they're telling Christians that we have to support war in Iran, and they're teaching hatred as a commandment of man. They're teaching Jewish fables instead of the Word of God. Jesus said, blessed be the peacemakers. God is not a racist, and God doesn't approve of racism. This is so important, and many Christians have bought into this, and they want to hate every Arab or Palestinian because they believe they're going to be blessed. Being Israel's buddy, and any enemy of Israel must be my enemy. Folks, this is not in the Word of God.
This piece off here and put it over here. And now you see, the United States is no longer in the middle of the map.
Right.
Now I did this with a major record company in New York City, I think in 1970. And an older man stood up in the back of the room and said, now Elliot, you've gone too far. I said, what's your problem? You can't do that with the map. I said, well, actually you can. He said, no, the United States isn't in the middle of the map anymore. I said, the United States never was in the middle of the map. You need to realize this depends on how you draw your map. And then I pointed this little fact out to him. South America is actually 9 times larger than Greenland.
Even though it doesn't really look like it.
No, it is. South America is actually 9 times larger than Greenland.
It's crazy.
Now, according to your social studies teachers, what is the equator? Halfway between the North Pole and the South Pole on this map would be right about here.
Right.
And that means that Iowa has a semi-tropical climate. Well, you've been in Minnesota in the wintertime.
I've been in Iowa too. It's definitely
You know that it doesn't have a tropical climate. So you have to then introduce a real version of the map of the world. That's what this is doing.
That's very good.
The Peters projection map. The sizes on this map are right. The shapes are distorted.
Wow.
Look at Greenland on this map. Right there. See it?
Yeah, it's really tiny.
See how small that is?
Right.
Look at it on the Mercator projection.
So why do they do that? I don't understand.
Why? Because the Pope commissioned Mercator to make a map that shows the spread of Christianity. So all the countries in which there are predominantly white people are larger than those in the southern part of the world, halfway between the North Pole and South Pole.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have children going to school and they're seeing this map,
within you is an eternal, life-giving, cosmic spark of consciousness. This manifests into the physical world as the sun. The ancient word for sun is sol. The word soul became soul because the sun is a macrocosm of the soul. Humans are light beings. Hue means an attribute of a color. Each color is a specific vibrational frequency. You are operating off a generic frequency based off your mindset. This frequency is actually a color because you are an attribute of a color. A hue, man, a light being manifested into physical form. Genesis 1:3. Let there be light. Light was the first thing ever created. John 1:5. God is light. Psalms 82:6. Ye are gods, and all of you are sons of the Most High. You and I are the same being. We are consciousness. We are God made flesh. If you want to learn the true esoteric meaning behind the Bible and more occult information, read my book, The Book of Wisdom. The link is in the bio.
Walter Scheib, of course, chef to the presidents, right? Of course.
There we go. 11 years, 94 to 05, and that's 7 years of Bill Clinton and 4 years of W. Bush.
Yeah. Whoop, whoop. Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
Former White House chef Walter Scheib was found dead after a 5-day search and rescue operation.
New Mexico State Police say after an autopsy, the medical investigator reports Scheib drowned, and his death is officially an accident.
Police found 45-year-old Tafari Campbell dead in a pond at Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts this morning. They say he fell while paddleboarding close to the Obama's estate.
In the music industry, fuck artists over in the music industry are individuals. They're not Jews.
They are Jewish.
It doesn't. They're human with opportunities, and they took those opportunities.
I'm calling the industry out and saying like, hey, it just so happens that my lawyer was Jewish, my regulator was Jewish, but like 8 people that basically would collude and talk without me were in groups.
I think the right thing is to not say that there's Jewish control of the media. And
that's incorrect, though. That's a fucking lie. There is.
Calling Jewish media. But you're saying that the Jewish media, the Jewish record labels, the Jewish people murder Jewish people.
Am I allowed to say Jewish? Tell me. Is it anti-Semitic for Ye to say Jewish out loud?
Go after individuals. You don't talk about Jews or black people. In Nazi Germany, science was used to create atrocities. There's no Jewish media. There's no Jewish...
there isn't?
There's no control of the media by Jewish people.
You're an engineer, brother. If you're an engineer and you're not holding to the truth, that's not engineering.
And when you say Jewish media, it's funny how this world works that way. When you say Jewish media... Can I just linger on this? Because when you say Jewish media, you got a big voice, have the balls as a man to call out the individuals. Don't call them Jews, call them by their name and start a war against those individuals. They're not Jewish.
But if that's the case, will you help me with that?
Sure. These people get fucked over in the music industry and get fucked over in the media, get fucked over all over the place. Torture Jewish people.
What's my bullshit?
I'm Jewish. Jewish media, Jewish...
That's not bullshit.
Jews are controlling the voice. With all due respect, I grew up in the Soviet Union. I'm Jewish. Holocaust of Nazi Germany. You're not giving a fuck about the suffering of the Jewish people across the world.
A Jewish doctor, they diagnosed
Why do you keep saying Jewish?
Because they were.
Kanye West doesn't care about Jewish people. Yay, I gotta say, these words and the words about Jews is not the words of a samurai. Well, don't say Jewish media and Jewish controlled media.
JM. Right, is that okay for me to say? Is that okay for me to say? Or is that anti-Semitic?
rockets, this is how they claim they get into outer space, is these rockets. Their rockets never go straight up. Every single rocket launch from a government space agency, you'll notice, follows a parabolic curve. It goes up, it reaches a peak, but what they do is as the rocket starts coming back down, they make sure that it goes down over the ocean, out of the way of any curious observers. Anyone can see it coming back down to Earth, asks, hey, how come the rocket's not going up anymore? Well, it's going around the curvature of the Earth, is what they tell us. So every single rocket, the reason that it follows a parabolic curve, they say, is because it's going around the curvature of the Earth. The real reason is they can't get up any higher than that. They tell us that the Earth is a sphere. They show us pictures of a sphere, of a circle. It's a perfect circle. And then they come out and they say, well, it's actually an oblate spheroid. Oh, what's that? Well, it's a sphere that's flattened at both poles, so it's more of an oval shape. It actually bulges out south of the equator, as well as being flattened at the poles. So it's more pear-shaped.
So it's not actually a sphere. It's oblate. And officially it's an oblate spheroid. That's what we call it. But not only that, it's slightly wider below the equator than below the equator. A little chubbier. Yeah. Chubby's a good word. It's like pear-shaped.
So now it's pear-shaped. So why are all of these official NASA photos and videos showing perfect spheres when it's actually an oblate spheroid or a pear-shaped spheroid? They can't get their story straight. The reason they keep changing it is that to fit the model, they have to change the shape of the Earth. South of the equator is larger than north of the equator because lines of longitude that just extend outwards, they don't contract back. So they concede that in their pear model. They say, well, the side bulges out south of the equator. It's bigger south of the equator. Yeah, it is, because it's flat. But instead of admitting that, they just, make tweaks to their model as time goes on. They say that the ball Earth tilts back 23.5 degrees. That's another tweak they made because we can see Polaris, which is right over the North Pole, from 23.5 degrees south latitude. Shouldn't be able to see that on a ball. So they just tilt the Earth back and then okay, now you can see it. And so they come up with explanations in reverse like this. Damage control, reverse engineered explanations.
What if the Epstein files weren't released to expose the truth, but to hide something way bigger?
Stewie, that's freaking crazy. The government released like 900 pages of documents in January 2024. Why would they release stuff to hide stuff?
Because of misdirection, you oaf.
Oh, like when I tell Lois I'm at work, but I'm really at the Drunken Clam?
Disturbingly accurate analogy.
Here's the thing. The files drop names like Bill Clinton, who flew on Epstein's plane 26 times, and Prince Andrew, who had that whole Virginia Giuffre lawsuit settled for $12 million. But notice what's missing. No current sitting politicians, no tech CEOs, no details about Epstein's intelligence connections that reporters talked about for years.
So they gave us old scandals?
Exactly! They feed the public stuff we already kind of knew, so we stop asking about what's still hidden. It's called a limited hangout.
Good lord, the fat man's actually making sense.
The real question isn't what's in the files, it's what's missing, and who made sure it stayed that way.
You run out of the essential nutrients your body needs, then something breaks, so you go to the only medicine that your insurance pays for, which is allopathic MD-directed medicine. The doctors don't know anything about medical nutrition, they don't believe that the body can cure itself, so they give you a drug that manages the problem. The drug, in its working in the human body, also burns through nutrients. So after 6 months or a year, the drug stops working, or they need to increase its potency, or they need to give you a second or a third drug. And then you get worse, and then you need another drug, and then it gets worse, and then you need surgery, and then you get a secondary infection from the surgery, and then you need another drug for that, and then you die. And then your relatives are so grief-stricken that they organize a 5K run on your behalf to come up with a cure for stomach cancer. And who do they give the money to? The people that failed you in the first place.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow truthers, another educational episode. Hope you took notes. I'll never quiz you, man. Who am I to quiz? Who am I to do that shit? I don't know. I mean, I've thought of it. Would it do any good? I don't know. I'll keep thinking about it. Maybe I will quiz you, because that is an option on YouTube now. I can give you quizzes. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Share these videos, guys. like, share, subscribe. Feed it into the algorithm. Get this out. It is so important to spread this information, no matter what it takes. I'm not in it for the money or the fame or whatever the hell. I want to wake people up. We're running out of time. Okay? That is all. Very simple. It's very simple. It doesn't take long to like, share, subscribe. It don't take long. It's a matter of seconds. So stop being lazy. And thank you again. I want to thank all the content creators that make the videos that I share. Without that, what I'm doing wouldn't be possible, and it would take a lot of fucking work to do this all by yourself, to gather all this information. So thank you to, other fellow creators taking the time and having the passion and dedication to doing what they do to also help spread the truth. So I love you. Take care and watch your kids. Keep an eye on your children. We out.